to the APTA's 5th Grand Prix Tour event, the Short Hills Invitational, presented by Maple Crest and supported by APTA's national sponsors Viking and Uline. We are live on the APTA network, presented by eNet Live. I'm Jerry Vian, along with Patty Hogan, and this is the women's final between the unseeded Martina Ondrejkova and Vicky Stoklosova versus the number 1 seeds of Floor Hanisch and Annika van Starrenburg. And Patty, the club is abuzz for the excitement of this match.
Jerry, we started the weekend with over 450 players, 7 different tournaments. We're down to a couple of the finals underway. Men's open play, we've got the elite men, but the highlight of it is the women's play. We've got Martina Ondrejkova, who is from Greenwich, Connecticut. She's a rackets professional at Greenwich Country Club, Greenwich, Connecticut. She's paired up today with Victoria Stoklosova, 2-time national champ. They're up against Florentina Hanisch, teaching pro at Westchester Country Club in Rye, New York, and Annika van Starrenburg, former national champion with Hanisch.
So we've got all national championship titles there on those 4 players. And Patty, let's just go point out the players. So we've got Floor Hanisch on the deuce side. Her back is to us, and she is explosive. She and Annika van Starrenburg won the Nationals 2 years ago in Philly, and they have added to their game this year. They've thrown in some different formations and playing with different looks. Van Starrenburg, the swooping 2-handed backhand, and Floor Hanisch looking to blitz, coming in behind. But I'm looking for them to be a little bit more exact and a little bit more precise, because down the other end, Martina Ondrejkova in the blue on the deuce side and Vicky Stoklosova wearing the red scarf. They are like surgeons, and they're not going to be flustered. They're going to be calm and try to manage the speed, I think, of Hanisch van Starrenburg. But Patty, let's take a look at the keys that we were talking about, the Viking keys to victory.
Jerry, I would love to go through the keys to victory, and we know for Ondrejkova and Stoklosova, they need to volley well, which I fully expect they can do, controlling the tempo of the match, and they're the team who would prefer a little bit slower down tempo perhaps, and we think Martina is going to have to bring the heat out of the deuce court.
Right. We expect, I think it's a lot has to do with how she plays, whether she's going to be the firepower, because we know Vicky's going to set the play up and move the ball around, but Martina will need to really step in and hit that 2-handed backhand that she's known for, which we didn't really see.
I just haven't seen it prior to this match. I saw her hit 1 or 2, but she didn't really have to hit it. They've played so well, and that's why they're in the finals.
So Hanisch van Starrenburg.
Yeah, well, for them, we know they've got to serve well. Sometimes they get a little bit of yippee on Van Starrenburg's service games. She comes and goes with it, but she's added to her serve over the last year, and she's got to hit it for them to be successful. They've got to pick the right spots, have real purpose on all of their drives and lobs. And they have the ability and will need to mix up their style of play today to respond to what Martina and Vicky bring to them.
Yes, so talk a little bit about the styles of play that we expect to see here.
Well, with Hanisch and Van Starrenburg, we've seen a little bit of everything, a traditional lineup at the net, a one-up, a one-back formation. I mean, they really can play different styles, and to their credit, they practice every different style and seem to have the ability right now, above any other team in the women's game, to make the tactical adjustments at the right time. That's what I've seen, and that's why they're number 1. And then our unseeded team of the Ovas here, just so much talent, former national champions. They seem to be at ease on the court with each other. Really the most relaxed team I've seen all day in the women's field.
Well, the Ondrejkova and Stoklosova grew up together. They grew up in the same town, Slovakia, and they went to the same high school together, and they went to college here in the U.S., but they've never, this is their first tournament together. So we were saying in the other match that they could speak their native tongue and probably, get away with it. So I like to still hold the paddle up just in case. But they're very, to your point, they're very comfortable with each other. They're very comfortable with themselves. They know their style of play, and I really think it's going to be that they have to stop this steamrolling hot team of Hanisch and Van Starrenburg. And Floor Hanisch is going to serve. Mark Bliss is the umpire in the chair.
Call. Yeah, okay. Ball was out. Love 15.
And you'll see that wide probing forehand from Stoklosova. It's a high-risk shot. It's going over the high part of the net, small amount of court, but she's very accurate.
When you're Vicky hitting it, it becomes a high percentage shot, Jerry. She's really stood out in the women's games as someone with just a willingness to wait for the ball to come to her, make a decision, and execute at the last second. That's what makes her such a special player in the women's game.
There's that flat bullet from Martina Ondrejkova. 5:30. So the last Grand Prix in Boston, Hanisch Van Starrenburg were defeated handily by Vicky Stoklosova playing with Jade Kurdish.
15-40.
And you see that return of serve from Stoklosova. It's high up at the chest of Annika Van Starrenburg, and that's a tough volley to handle. It's a good spot to go after. That's the one thing, Martina Ondrejkova, she tends to go parallel to the baseline on those wide shots, and she needs to go in on a 45-degree angle and cut that ball off.
Game Ondrejkova, Stoklosova. They lead 1-0 first set.
We talked about one of the Viking keys to victory for Van Starrenburg and Hanisch was serving well, and I was a little more concerned about Van Starrenburg, quite honestly. That was a little bit of a, nervous first serving game. For Hanisch, it's understandable. Big crowd here at the Short Hills Club. It's rocking outside. These guys are loving this, and if any team would have nerves here, I would think it would be our number one seeds who have played for a couple of years here. And when you team up with someone, it's just not the same pressure as it is when you are the hunted, Jerry, which
right.
You all know, very well.
Yeah, I agree. I expect that always with any match, once you get into the quarters, semis, finals, those first 4 games is just a feeling out, getting comfortable, feeling the ball, the surroundings. I mean, it means, great hands by Ondrejkova.
15-love.
And that's the one that Van Starrenburg has got to let go through. Hanisch is there. The ball's below the level of the net. You see that serve of Vicky Stoklosova. It's not a fast spin serve, but it is so well placed, and it allows her the time to get up to net and get settled.
And she's not the speediest player moving up to the net. after that less than speedy serve
30-15.
typically. But that goes right into her wheelhouse, and she is such a composed first volley, real discipline, real quiet hands.
I think I saw a little fleet of foot there on those first 3 steps. I mean, we're not saying she's moseying, but she does kind of glide up. Here we go. Dun, 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 dun.
What was that, Jerry?
That one.
Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah, I'm all about the rhythm, so. Oh. Just too big, and that's just getting settled. It was a right move from Van Starrenburg.
30-30.
Just over swung at that last shot.
Second forehand volley error in that game for Vicky.
And Vicky's coming in a little wide, so the middle's open, is exposing that forehand volley. All right, so watch Vicky's first 3 steps, Patty. Here we go.
Does the serve count as 1?
Advantage Ondrejkova, Stoklosova.
Van Starrenburg needs to get her feet going. Ondrejkova's got to be careful hitting that. She's a very flat overhead. And if she hits that down in the service box to Van Starrenburg, Van Starrenburg will pounce. So Ondrejkova, Stoklosova off to a 2-love lead. Annika Van Starrenburg serving.
Love.
Got the neck.
30 love.
Stoklosova left-handed. I'm not going to take any more steps. So they're pressuring Ondrejkova into coming up with the shot. She's swinging a little early in the point.
I've seen very few teams be successful against Vicky, going after her in that ad corn, no matter what her footwork is. So that's why we both believe it's going to be on Martina's paddle here, I think, to make the difference in the match. And you could see the good footwork and movement speed that Hanisch had on display there at the net. And I feel like Hanisch and Van Starrenburg go very much with their success has to do with Floor's movement at the net. And when she applies that pressure, boy, it takes away so much time. You've got to have a lot of discipline from the baseline.
Yeah, I agree. She was the spark in the match. We saw a lot of blitzing, a lot of fast moves, and they've worked on their movement together, covering each other, being able to play both sides. I mean, they've really rounded out their games. That's just a phenomenal return of serve, and Ondrejkova cannot serve wide and leave that lane open like that.
And I think Ondrejkova's serve is going to be a key here. I feel like Vicky's never going to do anything with it other than move it around, pick her spots. I feel like Ondrejkova is going to have to really be really steady, very few faults. Jerry, are all the women from the hometown of the Ovas tall?
Love 30.
You know, I was in Bratislava, which is in their airspace, and I didn't notice a whole lot of tall people.
I like the move from Hanisch in there, kind of sneaking in. She knew Vicky was
15,
sort of
30.
letting that ball drop, about to hit a push. She's seen it so much, and I like the quick move in. And then the retreat.
Right. No, knowing when to lay off.
I don't think that going to Floor's forehand over there is the ideal overhead choice for Martina when she's the left of the two players here. As you can see, Floor's feeling it here. A lot of footwork going.
That's
30
the
all.
wrong shot to drive, though. Ondrejkova did well there with that little barrage. And Hanisch set it up with some well-placed lobs. He's just got to be a little bit more patient and wait for the right ball.
Jerry, of the two teams, who wants to play long points here?
Not Hanisch van
40.
Starrenburg.
Well, I think they want to play it a little longer. I think Vicky and Martina, I feel like at some point they're going to hit an overhead hard enough to induce a play. And even if it's at, the backhand, the two-handed backhand of Van Starrenburg, I feel like they're going to let her hit it to sort of shorten the points a little bit.
Good.
Or just to play the volley. They love to create the spaces with the combination of hard, let the baseline player chase it, stick a volley.
Van Starrenburg.
Vicky in particular derives a huge amount of joy from those kinds of combination of shots.
Game, Hanisch
Good
van
pressure.
Starrenburg.
So that's that
Games are
flat
2-all first set.
serve that bounces up and it goes right into the wheelhouse of Van Starrenburg, who's looking to take it at the top of the bounce and come in behind. So 2-all, we're still getting settled into the match. I can't see any consistent strategy or speed of play right now. It's more about managing their nerves, like we said, and just starting to feel it. But
15 love.
Again, Martina went right for the side screen versus cutting the angle, being able to step into the blue to play that shot.
Hanisch is serving. Martina Ondrejkova had an opportunity there, just roll it down the alley. And that well-placed lob from Stoklosova right over the left shoulder of Van Starrenburg pulled Hanisch all the way behind her. That's what Stoklosova does so well. She just moves them around like chess pieces.
I was thinking Van Starrenburg would drop back to hit that shot, given it was straight over her. It was a little bit more straight overhead to her right shoulder.
Love.
Martina's a little bit out of sorts here right now.
See how Hanisch's footwork is going, and she's starting to get that momentum.
And she fed Martina the shot that she knew Martina was looking to hit, having been 0 for 2 on her last two forehands. Kind of baited her and made a good hands play. I'll tell you, the last two serving games with both Vicky and Martina, they both missed couple of volleys coming into the ad court, the return to serve against Van Starrenburg. They seem to be leaving a little bit too much room in the middle, causing them to flip over their paddle, and I'd expect them to tidy up their positioning slightly.
So Anna Maria Zabori is watching, and Anna plays with Martina Ondrejkova, so she's supporting her partner. She couldn't play this tournament, and we miss her, but she's commenting that the Stoklosova Ondrejkova, their casual style. We should run out there and take their pulse rate.
I think Vicky's would be the lowest.
For sure. Both still getting into their rhythm. Oh, spectacular drive down the line. Now they need to find a balance between being aggressive and being consistent. You know, that's always the trick. When they get on a roll, I'm talking about Hanisch van Starrenburg, when they get on a roll, they can really dominate, but it's about waiting for the right shot.
40-15.
All right, game.
Games are 3-all.
3-all first set. This is the women's final of the Short Hills Invitational.
One of 7 finals of events this weekend, Jerry, here at the Short Hills Club.
Annika van Starrenburg serving. There's that slow push overhead, deep to the baseline.
15 love.
Ondrejkova really wants to throw up another lob. It's tempting to hit because it's so slow. You feel like, but she's got to throw up another lob, wait for a shorter ball, have somebody out of position. That's Flor Hanisch going in and pouncing on that short, high forehand.
Love.
So 30 love. That's 4 deep lobs in a row from Ondrejkova and countered beautifully by Hanisch van Starrenburg. Oh, trouble. It's a little too hard. Stoklosova will use it. See Hanisch van Starrenburg picking their spots with their lobs, moving it around. You see the stress level there of Ondrejkova. Staying calm, there's no panic.
40-15. So 40-30.
Hanisch is bringing a lot of energy to this, Jerry. Very bouncy.
Oh, good hold there.
Hanisch on Starrenburg. They lead 4-3. First set, new ball.
We want to thank Stephen Giordano and Maple Crest Ford Lincoln of Union for its sponsorship of today's tournament. Family owned and operated for more than 55 years and proudly serving the needs of our community's Ford and Lincoln owners. Their award-winning sales and service team is the perfect mix of friendliness and professionalism, just like us, Jerry. Visit Maple Crest Ford Lincoln of Union today for all your automotive needs. Great local dealership if you're ever looking for a car, Jerry.
I'll keep that in mind. Wonderful that they support the Short Hills Invitational. So, new ball. Martina Ondrejkova serving.
Love 15.
Jerry, Hanisch and Van Starrenburg. Do their lobs set up or their drives?
Yes,
Or their
they
drives
do.
set up their lobbing?
Your first one.
I thought that was the right answer. A lot of Cub level players will go with the drives, and if it doesn't work, start lobbing, where Hanisch and Van Starrenburg, perfect complement of teamwork, really looking for the open spots, and they know how to create the openings with their lobbing.
They've worked hard at seeing the court that way and being able, their skill set, their athleticism, they can get away with a lot of the stuff, but that when they get in that mode of seeing those spots and being more purposeful and going after those point of contact, their confidence seems to grow. See that lob down the line, takes over the net. That's a beautiful shot.
30-15.
Ondrejkova just held that and then went straight for the nick. Kind of like feels like a little seesaw here of momentum. Hanisch, Van Starrenburg have a little spark, and then Ondrejkova, Stoklosova balance it back.
30 all.
And that's the beauty of paddle, Jerry. The momentum can change even within a game.
Let's see, where is Ondrejkova going to serve?
Oh, Annika gets up at the net in front of floor. But not for long, Jerry. Pretty disciplined play to drop back.
And that kind of confusion,
40.
I think that different combinations of play is going to benefit Hanisch, Van Starrenburg if they can keep it controlled. You see, Floor Hanisch is calling every ball in the backcourt, and I would right now not give her a ball. She is on fire. And with paddle, as you know, Patty, you recognize who has the hot hand and take them out of the play. Let them cool down a bit. You got to go away from whatever your game plan is when you see someone really getting their confidence up. Yes. Hanisch is dialed in, as our producer Kelly Diesel pointed out to me.
I mean, he is a student of the game here and helps us out.
And Annika Van Starrenburg, they kind of thought that ball was going long, then hesitated, and then caught her paddle.
And I mean, I think when Stoklosova hits the ball, Jerry, for most people, when they hit, you think it's going out, and then all of a sudden, if Vicky hit it, I think it makes you think,
Right.
oh yeah, Vicky hit it, it's probably going to be good.
Nice change of pace there with Stoklosova.
30.
Just made that ball die in the side back screen. Stoklosova's preparation is so early. And she got caught.
15-30.
Trying to give it a little different look. Was sneaking in. 5:30. Floor Hanisch serving.
30 all.
Beautiful serve, followed up by a little bit of a slice on that forehand volley, Patty, so the ball didn't come up.
I like it. She just kept moving her body to the ball and made, just kept that ball so low for Ondrejkova.
Serving for the first set, 40-30. Wow.
First set, Hanisch, Starrenburg.
So it was
15-3.
nip and tuck there the early part of the first set, and then you saw the spark of Floor Hanisch, her footwork, her calling, her confidence, and as she started to make shots, she got more comfortable, more confident, and more aggressive. You can feel that she's taking the play to them, and now Ondrejkova, Stoklosova they've got to respond. They can't stay this passive. So if you were coaching them, what would you say?
Jerry, I think that they're a little bit vulnerable on the coverage of their overheads, quite honestly. They don't really play that many tournaments together, and the spot lobs from Van Starrenburg and Hanisch are sort of breaking them down.
We've got that drone shot here of the Short Hills Club.
The historic Short Hills Club, 1875.
And now we are straight into the second set. The players aren't taking a break, so we're going right in.
Left 15.
Short Hills Club is one of the oldest clubs in the country. Our facility here has platform tennis, luxury, swimming pool area, dining, renovated, clubhouse. I feel like the renovated kitchen is next up for these guys, given that their pipes burst last weekend, unfortunately. The staff at Short Hills Club, led by Katie the manager, Jose, Raphael, my favorite bartender, Orlando, Marvin, and of course host pro Dave Broderick and his assistant Vanessa Petrini have done an amazing job here in hosting this event, and member Dennis Collins has done a great job to make everyone, all the players and fans feel really welcome. We're fortunate to have Short Hills Club as a host for this event.
Yeah, they do a great job. They've got the fire pits going out there. They've got the heaters up for everybody. There's food and beer and wine and...
Oh, it's a great atmosphere, Jerry, and what makes it extra special is there's 7 different tournaments going on throughout the weekend, and, we started to play yesterday. We had Keely Krisky and Leslie Sturr win the women's B, Jerry. We had Cochran and Kaufman, not Mike, win the 95s. We had Gary Chen and Robert Krause win the men's 60s, and they're all here, and this is what makes the sport really extra special, and the fans around here come out and they love to watch great paddle matches. It doesn't matter. It's open play, it's B play, it's the elite draw. They just love great paddle. We've got a men's open final going underway on another court, Jerry. The action's everywhere.
All right. We'd also like to thank our other local sponsors: Club Pilates, Gambit Custom Shirts, Jag One Physical Therapy, Narragansett Brewing Company, Quanta, Smith Chiropractic, Spiro Harrison, and Stretch Labs. We've got a lot of local support here, as you can see, and Floor Hanisch, Annika van Starrenburg continue on their roll there. Just got the first game of the second set, and you just kind of feel like Vicky Stoklosova and Martina Ondrejkova have got to get some spark themselves. I mean, we need a little bit of footwork, a little bit of fist pumping.
And there are two players who I can't say I ever see get really fired up.
Wow.
In terms of their body language, what you feel from them as players on the court.
Yeah, but when they're confident, you feel their presence. And right now, I don't feel their presence. They feel too passive to me. And I know Hanisch van Starrenburg have tremendous respect for both these players. And I just feel they need to impose themselves a little bit more right now and early in this second set, because the spark is definitely Hanisch van Starrenburg right now.
And Jerry, how do they impose themselves?
They've got to come up with more plays. They've got to come up with some different, bigger plays. Maybe you saw Stoklosova try to blitz a little bit, sneak in behind one of those lobs. Here you see, Hanisch van Starrenburg are doing a good job of taking away Stoklosova's ability to move the ball around. Right? We're not seeing that creative playmaking at all because Hanisch van Starrenburg are hitting the ball straight and deep.
And Martina's throwing them some errors. And position-wise on the baseline, Jerry, I feel like Martina is kind of getting caught. She's playing a little closer to the middle than to the, let's say, the single sideline, maybe covering the middle for Vicky. But as a result, she's opening up herself. Her corner is proving to be kind of a vulnerable spot for their team today.
Yeah, you've seen Floor Hanisch catch her 3 or 4 times in that little slider going out wide to the forehand.
And that's the advantage player has. Like Hanisch, as she's handling the overheads, she's kind of keeping an eye on her opponent, and she's watching to see the movement from Martina a little closer to the middle. And she's been successful in just sliding that overhead in.
That's what I'm talking about. Stoklosova needs to do that, be committed to it. She needs to get in there a little bit quicker and take that ball higher, but it's the right play. Get in Hanisch van Starrenburg's face a little bit.
Her first 3 steps had to be a little bit quicker right there.
Da-da-da. And Ondrejkova has not found her forehand. There we go. Here's a little footwork.
Wow. A burst of energy.
Well, that's what they need to do. They've got to get the spark going. They can't let Hanisch van Starrenburg get too far out in front. And they are just punishing them. I mean, they're right on top of the net. They're pulling Stoklosova, 2 or 3 boards to the right. And if she doesn't have any heat on that drive, you just saw there Van Starrenburg closing the net and placing that ball back deep into the corner. So it's Hanisch van Starrenburg up 2-love in the second set, having won the first set 6-3.
Do you think Annika's thinking about her upcoming serving game, Jerry?
I think they're having a good conversation right now. I like that there's a pause. You can see Stoklosova say, let's try this, maybe give this a whirl, we'll see. Such an easygoing partner.
Well, they have to do that. They have to put a full stop to what's going on right now, because you just feel that Hanisch and van Starrenburg could steamroll in the second set.
I mean, look at the preparation of Hanisch.
15 love.
Great hands from Van Starrenburg.
That's the old swoop and blitz. $15-all.
I mean, what a return to serve and move in by Hanisch right there. Even had Martina pulled that first volley out, there wasn't anywhere to go with it.
I think they've got to change the lineup here because now you see the spark is with Van Starrenburg. She's getting the balls that she likes, those high backhands right off the bat. Oh, I
Well,
might have
this
said
is
it
what I was going to say. When are they going to stay back?
right. I might have said it a little too loud.
In case she's got the earbud in.
Really.
Yeah, especially, I mean, they're just getting broken down on some fundamentals here. Maybe it's a little bit tired. It's a long day here. 36 teams started out, battling it out. Lots of intense matches. Some of the best women in the game.
Game Hanisch, Van Starrenburg.
And that's one of the areas that sometimes Ondrejkova can get flat-footed. You can catch her in that deuce-side screen. She's kind of hesitating, and she doesn't have the footwork going to catch up with that screenplay.
Jerry, Viking Athletics is the premier brand and the undisputed leader in platform tennis. Viking is platform tennis. The Viking Extra Duty platform ball has been the #1 selling ball in the industry for the past 20 years. It is the official ball of the APTA, of the APTA Nationals and President's Cup, and of the Grand Prix Tour.
Okay, Annika Van Starrenburg serving 3-love. She should be feeling confident right now.
Love.
It's a lot easier to serve up 3-love second set, up 6-3, 3-love.
Love. Oh. 30, 15.
All right, well, it's Van Starrenburg just going to shake that off. Wonderful lob down the line, coming in behind it, and Patty, it's just so tempting to hit that next shot, right? Even though it was below the level of the net, to let it go through is, you have to be so disciplined.
She's just too tall to play that shot.
And that's a great return of serve by Martina Ondrejkova, right at her body, coming in. You know, that first volley, if it's up by your armpit, is awkward. Big return of serve from Stoklosova there. That's a break, and Stoklosova and Ondrejkova are on the board.
Jerry, do you know what today is?
I believe it is Saturday still.
One of my brothers, Bruce, has a birthday today.
Oh.
But even more important than Bruce's birthday is one of our umpires, Mark Connolly's mom, Pat Connolly, is turning 90 as we speak, and they have a celebration dinner. And Pat Connolly had 6 boys and stopped with Mark and his sister, set of twins, as numbers 5 and 6. Happy birthday to Pat.
90, that's a good age. That's a great angle to see the preparation of the paddle of Van Starrenburg. both feet off the ground on that one, I think. Look, see how her paddle is down, and she can lob it and drive it from both points. At the point of contact is the same, so her preparation is the same. She can flick it cross court, she can lob it cross court, and you can just sort of the combination of shots there.
I'm impressed with not that shot from Van Starrenburg. I mean, I can miss that shot, but I'm impressed with the play prior to that. Little pickups off the deck. She's really playing a disciplined approach and really putting it to Vicky and Martina in some of these situations when they volley the ball short. She's capitalizing.
30 all.
There's that rhythm in the screen. Hit, hit, you hit. Listen to it. Yep, you see. She got turned around a little bit then because she went into where the ball was.
40, 30.
It's like a wingspan, I always say, like a 747 coming at you. She just puts her paddle out and she can cover from one alley to the other and moving forward.
I really think they should stay back on Van Starrenburg's side. We've seen that over and over in this match, and Vicky and Martina just don't have an answer for that situation.
Oh,
wow.
So you can see that energy and spark from Floor Hanisch has now lifted her partner up, and Annika is starting to flow with her shot selection. And
so little change of setup here. Maybe try to take it the way of the cross court. I thought they would. I'm surprised they're going with a traditional setup here.
Good hands of Vicky Stoklosova there. See how Martina Ondrejkova lets that ball come down low, so her point of contact is low, and that's what allows her to keep the ball deep in the court.
But I actually think Martina's she's let some opportunities go by to hit that overhead on that side back screen and get Van Starrenburg deep into the court. I just think with Martina's height, she could get around a little bit more with a little more footwork. Push Van Starrenburg a little bit deeper in the court toward the center, playing her backhand. I just don't think they've opened up the court at all for themselves.
Oh, good cover by Floor Hanisch, and a wonderful spot that Van Starrenburg held and then went after Stoklosova's right hip. She didn't rush it.
So many players run up to that short ball and don't have an idea, where the whole time Annika ran up there, she knew exactly the spot. Nothing changed on the other side of the court. The court didn't move, I always say. Nothing changes. Pick one of those two spots of a right hip on those short balls.
I think it was wide.
Wow, I thought she got it.
Good eye by Martina Ondrejkova. That combination of a deep lob. Oh! Good pressure by Stoklosova, stayed in there.
Advantage, Ondrejkova,
A little bit of an I formation with Vicky kind of just sensing the situation, and that's what we've seen her do for many years.
Stoklosova serving to hang in this early part of the second set.
Little indecision there from Martina because Vicky had reached over with a forehand volley. And Starrenburg went right to the middle again. Kind of caught them trying to figure that out.
There's that flat overhead into the nick that Ondrejkova hit so well.
I think she's got to hit more of them.
All four players sense the importance of this point right here. Just the pressure coming off of both wings from Hanisch van Starrenburg.
You're right, Jerry. It's just hard to stay up there and keep your discipline as a volleyer when you just got pressure at all times from both the deuce and ad court. Talk about complementary players in a partnership. Hanisch and van Starrenburg have it.
Advantage, Hanisch van Starrenburg.
So break point to go up 4-1 in the second set. Can't hesitate. You saw that little hesitation and then the ball gets down low. Just goes, if you're going to go, you're going to go straight in. Keep your hands up at waist high. You can hear that grunting of Hanisch as she's going in on her return of serve. She really got her legs behind that return of serve now, Patty, and that's where she's getting the extra power from.
Look at that high backhand overhead. Vicky just sticks her paddle up, waits, gets the ball deep.
Advantage, Hanisch van Starrenburg.
That down up overhead to Hanisch's, to van Starrenburg's two-handed backhand. She's going to find the opening.
Wow.
Game, Hanisch van Starrenburg. They lead 4-1. Second set, new ball.
All right, Patty, we'd like to thank one of our national sponsors, Uline, and they are the leading distributor of shipping, industrial, and packaging materials to businesses throughout North America. They ship over 2.5 million boxes every day, but they are so much more than a box company. More than 32,000 quality products are always in stock and ready to ship. Outstanding customer service means they're here when you need them, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Uline, the best selection, products, and people for an unforgettable customer experience.
Jerry, I'm not sure I mentioned that there's squash here at the Short Hills Club. Did you know they have squash courts here, Jerry?
I actually did know that. I saw the courts down there.
I'm not sure I mentioned it in my earlier chat about the Short Hills Club.
So new ball, Floor Hanisch is serving 4-1, and I just want to thank our producer Kelly Diesel and Brian Panetta doing an outstanding job today, giving us all these wonderful angles and being able to cut from court to court. We've been on non-stop since 9 a.m. this morning, covering the Short Hills Invitational.
It's 7:30, Jerry. We await the men's elite final. We've got the finals of the men's open play. Green and Vidal are going to come up against Croker and Hume. That match is slated to start shortly. Jerry, we've got another ladies match underway. We have Baron and Anika playing off for 5th place against Cruz and Nicolescu.
You saw and heard Flor Hanisch then to say, go back. Gave up the net wisely because Vicky Stoklosova was going to drill a forehand. And you can just feel that Hanisch van Starrenburg are on the same page, playing with the same rhythm. It's that bounce hit, set up by the deep lobs.
Jerry, I just had a flashback. Pittsburgh Nationals a couple years ago. Sue Tarzian, Carrie Flynn.
That was some
Third
match.
set, playing the Anna and Vicky. One of the most amazing women's paddle match. One of the first tournaments we live streamed for the APTA. And Tarzian and Flynn came up big time, shocked the paddle community, and I mean, almost pulled off the upset of the century.
Yeah, that was a wonderful match. All right, Flor Hanisch, 40-15. And you
Scoop
see
shot from
you see
Vicky.
the casualness of Stoklosova there, those little half volleys.
Do you teach that, Jerry, still?
I don't teach that. It just takes tremendous timing. And you see a little bit of the frustration of Martina Ondrejkova there. I mean, it's like, what are they going to do at 1-5 in the second set to stop this steamrolling of Hanisch van Starrenburg?
Stay back. That's what I would do.
All right, so now they're back.
Love.
I just think in the hands play, they're losing 80% of the points here.
A smart lob by Hanisch. And this is where the versatility of styles is really starting to gel for them. And Ondrejkova and Stoklosova are having a hard time coming up with a tactic that's stopping this momentum. 2 points from the match. Just a barrage, right? Hanisch is just feeling it. 5:30. Sorry, they had 2 points from the match now.
Yeah.
Big serve.
30 all.
Oh, how was that rhythm?
30-40.
And just like that, match point, Hanisch van Starrenburg. Can't really toy with Vicky Stoklosova like that at net. She's got beautiful hands. Back to deuce. Let's see. Hanisch's return of serve and forehand drives and lobs down the line have really stood out to me today in this match. She's opened up the court with that first strike.
How many unforced errors has Hanisch had in this final? I mean, I really think she's played nearly a perfect match.
And there it is.
Game, set, match, and 2019 Short Hills Invitational Ladies Championship.
Hanisch van Starrenburg, 6-3, 6-1, and that's paddle, right? 2 weeks ago in Boston, we saw just the reverse of that. Stoklosova was playing with Jade Curtis, but it was a different Annika van Starrenburg and Floor Hanisch that we saw today. They came in determined, they came in focused, they
Prepared.
concentrated for every point, totally prepared, and it looked like they're heading towards the Nationals. And
They look like they are peaking at the right time of year, Jerry.
And Patty, what a great time for women's paddle. I mean, we've got so many wonderful teams that are played at the Short Hills, and we'll be getting ready for the Nationals. It's really, I don't think there's been a time in our sport where we've had so many strong contenders, different combinations of players, different style of players. I mean, it's not just business as usual, everyone playing the same way.
Jerry, I think you're right. It's a great time to be involved with women's paddle, and that's why there's so many fans out there. We're so happy that we got to bring this to you today from Short Hills.
Well, great calling the match with you, Patty, and we'll look forward to the Nationals. And I think we're going to be right back with the men's final between...
Oh, I believe Broderick and McNerney are going to be coming up against tournament number 1 seeds Mark Parsons and Juana Raya.
All right, so we'll be right back after these messages right here on the APTA Network presented by eNat Live.